What if your anger is the most honest thing about you? Not your smile, not your politeness, not the version of you that keeps everything together. Your anger. Because anger doesn't perform. It doesn't pretend. It tells the truth your mouth has been too afraid to say. But somewhere along the way, you learned to silence it. Maybe you were told, don't be dramatic. Calm down. Good people don't get angry, so you swallowed it. You apologized for it, or you let it explode, and then felt ashamed. But no one taught you how to understand it. Here's the truth. Anger is not the problem. It's the messenger. Psychologically, anger is rarely the first emotion. It's what we call a secondary emotion. Underneath it, there's always something else. Hurt, rejection, fear, shame, or a need that has been ignored for far too long. So when you suppress anger, you're not becoming calm. You're burying the truth of what you feel. And your body knows it. Because anger doesn't disappear. It gets stored in your nervous system, in your muscles, in your breath. It shows up as tension, headaches, burnout, exhaustion you can't explain. Silenced anger doesn't die. It turns inward. And then one day, it leaks. In the wrong moment, at the wrong person, in a way that doesn't even feel like you. But here's what changes everything. Every moment of anger is a moment where a boundary was crossed. Something inside you said, this is not okay. A value was violated. A need was ignored. Or you said yes, when your whole body meant no. Your anger is not random. It's precise. It points directly to where you have abandoned yourself. And if you listen, really listen, anger becomes guidance. Not something to explode, not something to suppress, but something to transform. Because anger is energy, and like fire, it can destroy or it can purify. When you direct it consciously, it burns what is false. The roles you outgrew, the relationships that drain you, the masks you've been carrying just to be accepted. This is why, in many spiritual traditions, anger is not seen as weakness, but as awakening. It's the moment your soul says, enough. Enough pretending, enough shrinking, enough betraying yourself to keep the peace. And especially for women, anger has been silenced for centuries, labeled as too much, too emotional, even sinful. But suppressed anger doesn't disappear. It creates a collective heaviness. It creates women who cannot feel their own power without apologizing for the temperature of it. Reclaiming anger is not becoming cruel. It is taking your voice back from every room that taught you to whisper. So what do you do when anger rises? First, do not immediately hand it a weapon. Give it a chair. Feel where it lives in the body. Then ask the question most people avoid. What is underneath this? Not to dismiss the anger, but to decode it. Maybe underneath it is grief, fear, and a painful realization. I have been betraying myself for too long. Then ask, what boundary is this anger asking me to restore? That is where transformation begins. Not in the explosion, not in the silence. In the moment you turn heat into clarity, that is emotional power. Not never being angry, being able to stand in your anger without becoming possessed by it. One day, your anger will not scare you the way it used to. You will feel it rise, hot and bright, and you will not immediately shame yourself. You will listen. You will breathe. You will find the boundary inside the flame. And instead of asking, how do I get rid of this? You will ask, what truth has finally become impossible to ignore? Maybe underneath it is grief, fear, and a painful realization. I've been betraying myself for too long. Subscribe if this resonates, and if you're ready to explore deeper self-awareness.